The Florida school shooting will be the first topic they discuss. Congress back in session today after 10 days off, and again, the pressure is on to take another look at gun legislation.
WCCO chief political reporter Pat Kessler joining us now. Pat, according to a new CNN poll, it was released yesterday, 70% of Americans favor stricter gun control laws. So the question is, will we actually see that happen?
Yeah, this is a little bit of a change over the last number of years, for many years actually, where the country appeared to be divided on many gun control issues, but now that tide appears to be changing. There has been widespread agreement on certain things like background checks. Most people agree on that. The bump stock thing, most people agree you have to get rid of that. But Congress is dysfunctional. It has not been able to do anything. So it's an open question as to whether they will be able to do anything now. President Trump is proposing raising the age when anybody should be allowed to buy an assault rifle. So that's something that the NRA is opposing. But we still don't know if that will get anywhere, because after all of these shootings, over all these many years, nothing has happened. So even though America supports certain changes, it's a wide open question whether they're actually going to vote on it.
First time we've really seen young people like these teenagers being able to take the leadership, so we'll see what kind of a difference that makes. Let's talk about the Democratic memo that was released by House Intelligence Committee Democrat Adam Schiff. He says it vindicates the FBI over allegations it abused its surveillance power to monitor a former Trump campaign advisor. Right. Tell us what we need to know about this, Pat.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that what Adam Schiff is saying is true. We haven't seen the background evidence of that, which has been redacted from the memo, and that's the frustration with this entire controversy over the Russia investigation. So the Democrats released this memo because they said it contradicts everything that the Republicans did earlier. Once again, we are seeing confirmation bias. It comes down to this. If you believe what the Democrats are saying, you're going to believe the Adam Schiff memo. Yes. If you believe what Republicans are saying, you're going to believe the Republican memo, and it's a mess. All of it's a mess.
President Trump's not releasing the original memo, but here's what he had to say on Twitter. The Democrat memo response on government surveillance abuses is a total political and legal bust. Yeah. Just confirms all of the terrible things that were done, and then in all caps, so illegal.
We don't know that, and we don't know that that's true. We don't know that anything that the president just said in that tweet is actually true. It certainly is political. What the president did was twist what the Democratic memo actually is and made it into something else. And again, this is the major problem that all of us as Americans are facing, that people don't agree on the basic facts of an argument. So we don't know exactly what's true and what's not true, but I think this has muddied the waters so much that when something actually happens with the Mueller investigation, many people are not going to believe it because the president tells them not to.
We do know this, Pat. Some breaking news just in. The Supreme Court will not hear President Trump's request to look at the DACA dispute. So the program's not going to end next week as the White House had originally planned.
That's a big deal. The headline on that for the 7,000 to 10,000 DACA recipients here in Minnesota, you don't have to worry right now. March 5th was the day when some deportation proceedings could have begun. But now it's wide open, and there are 800,000 of these young people brought to the United States illegally by their parents when they were very little, through no fault of their own. Now there's some breathing room where people can try to work this out. So the president and the Trump administration did something very unusual. They tried to bypass all the appeals courts and go right to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that. So we don't know where it goes right now. That story will be developing throughout today.
Yeah, I mean, we just found that out a couple of minutes ago. So we'll stay tuned.
Pat, thank you. We'll see you on the news at 5 and 6 today.